Okay friends, today we are starting a new series and we are going to be diving into the dangerous consequences of the sweeping normalization of terrible behavior, particularly done by streamers on the internet, and how they are inherently harmful because they are fully aware that their demographic watching is primarily teens and kids. You've probably noticed over the past few years as social media begins to naturally become more oversaturated with content creators and influencers, that a new wave of influencers are having to rise to fame by engaging in rage bait, skits, or trolling, as they like to call it. And they do this to help carve themselves out a niche on the internet. It can be a quick way to gain notoriety and income, but it obviously leaves the audience hungry for more. And that will lead the influencer or content creator to continue to push the boundaries, even to their own detriment, just to maintain some kind of relevancy. And please note, in this series, I am not speaking about all content creators, all influencers, or all streamers. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. There's a lot of great human beings in all of these spaces on the internet, while there are just as many terrible people as well. But these streamers and influencers and content creators who put themselves into this niche of trolling, rage bait, or just being offensive for viewership, they will naturally become desensitized to what is right versus what is wrong, versus what is true versus what is a lie, because their equity and validation is coming from views and income, not based on their character quality as a human being. And that desensitization from right versus wrong versus truth versus lie from the influencer will naturally spill over into the audience. And when a young fan is becoming desensitized to reality and morality, and then seeing an adult rewarded for bad behavior financially, it's a very dangerous mix. During this last presidential race, we saw quite a few young men become staunch conservative. Many people have tried to study the exact cause and the root of why so many young men have become red-pilled, so to say. I think one piece of this puzzle that we don't talk enough about is people like Adin Ross, and how he has contributed to the red-pilling of young men in America. He has a primarily young teen boy fan base, and he is rubbing shoulders with figures like Andrew Tate and Donald Trump, textbook examples of predatory misogynists. So in this series, we're going to be diving into multiple different streamers. Today, chapter 1 will be with Adin Ross, but in the future, we will be discussing streamers such as DDG extensively, DJ Academics extensively, Sneeko extensively, just to name some of the figures who are on my list to discuss. But like I said, today we're going to start with Adin Ross. So who is Adin Ross? Adin David Ross was born on October 11th of 2000 in Boca Raton, Florida, and he was born into a Jewish family. Since high school, Adin has been an avid gamer and streamer, specifically on the social media site Twitch. Adin even skipped his high school prom so that he could spend his evening gaming on Twitch with his fans. One of the games that Adin was frequently streaming was the game called NBA 2K, and he quickly began to grow a fan base, and he would cross paths with Bronny James, LeBron James's son, who was also a frequent flyer of the game.
LeBron? He said, is this LeBron?
Yo, first of all, I gotta say, gigantic fan, I love you.
That's all respect, man. I appreciate it, man.
And look,
showing love and respect to me and my son.
Adin began to steadily gain followers and a fan base, and began collaborating with other streamers and gamers in the same sphere as him. As he began to gain a substantial net worth as a late teen into his early 20s, he would eventually move to Los Angeles, California. As Adin was quickly growing to fame and making a fortune off of his live streams, his ego would begin to swell, and unfortunately, he would find himself caught up in multiple controversies over his very short career thus far. Now, I'm going to walk you through some of the controversies that Adin has found himself in so far in his career, and why it is so problematic that he go unchecked with this behavior. First of all, it is important to note that Adin has lost his platforms on multiple occasions, but somehow he is able to be invited back to stream. And the reason that he's been removed on multiple occasions is because of the bad behavior that he has displayed on his live stream, which inherently becomes a liability to the platform. All in all, Twitch has taken down Adin Ross's account a total of 3 times in 2021, in 2022, and in 2023. Adin has also found himself in hot water with the platform Twitch due to his promotion of underage gambling for his young audience. And Adin has found himself in multiple controversies, not just with Twitch, but multiple controversies in general that involve him promoting gambling to his underage fans.
bro, it's so cool because I know a lot of you guys that watch me, you like literally don't have jobs and shit, and like no, listen, because they're kids.
You guys are bums.
No, they're kids. No, they're kids. Like, you guys are in high school.
Adin has a very nonchalant attitude when it comes to gambling, and has even had moments on stream where he has gambled and lost a large amount of money and acted like it was no big deal, normalizing the devastating effects of gambling addiction towards a very young and impressionable audience. Keep in mind, only a very small percentage of his demographic that watches him regularly are even old enough to legally gamble. And influencers promoting gambling, especially streamers promoting gambling within cryptocurrency, within whatever kinds of means, has been a problem for a very long time, and it will continue to be a problem unless it becomes more regulated by the government, which is absolutely possible for our government to do. If there was more regulation from the government onto these platforms, onto these specific influencers, it would not be a continuous issue the way it is, but it absolutely is, and will probably continue to be. The best thing we can do is educate and bring awareness to the dangers of gambling, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's cold hard cash, it doesn't matter. I could talk about why that is such a huge and prevalent issue all day long, but I will move on and not bore you. Adin has also faced backlash for being blatantly racist to multiple different kinds of minorities, but specifically towards black people. And if you have consumed Adin Ross's content, I think it's pretty obvious that he carries some disdain in his core towards black people, but specifically towards black women.
Joke's on you, BLM is banned from my chat. Guess what's black people food, huh? Fried chicken, Kool-Aid.
Right, man.
What are you doing, you fucking stupid monkey?
Yo, I can't. I should have came in.
Yeah, why didn't you, monkey?
Because I thought you had to use in front of him. Oh no, okay.
From everything I've gathered, it's very obvious from his own rhetoric and the people whom he invites onto his stream, which we will get more into. Aside from his blatant racism towards the black community, he is also shown to have some hatred towards the LGBTQ community, using the F slur on multiple occasions out of anger and frustration. And I say out of anger and frustration not as an excuse for the behavior, but because when he is angry and frustrated, that's the first place his mind goes.
Yo, Train, this guy's a bro. I'm sorry, but he is, bro. Like, bro. Yo, shut up, bro. You follow a son. Shut up. You're a grown man. Take accountability. You're a grown man. Your friends are. Take some accountability. Accountability. You're wearing a pink beanie. You're a grown man. Yourself. Please. Nobody will care.
Like we mentioned earlier, Adin is Jewish, and he is quick to clap back at anyone whom he feels as being anti-Semitic, but is happy to rub shoulders with people who engage in anti-Semitic rhetoric all day long as they have platforms and can bring him monetary gain. So it's never really morality with Adin because he is so morally gray. It's all about monetary, even when the actions that he engages in for monetary gain contradict things that he has said in the past. Aside from Adin's blatant misunderstanding of what is happening in Gaza,
You saying free Israel? I thought it was free Palestine. Yeah.
Well, you know, Speed, I'm Jewish, so I'm from Israel.
Really?
Well, my descent is Israel. I'm Jewish.
Free Palestine, Adin?
Speed, we're not going to go into that political debate, but relax.
What do you mean, relax?
Adin doesn't need to be on the wrong side of history within this conflict. Adin has also helped prop up a lot of right-wing, alt-right influencers whose ideology absolutely lean towards the point of extremism. One of these alt-right figures who Adin has willingly collaborated with include Vivek Ramaswamy. A few months back, Adin Ross invited Vivek Ramaswamy onto his stream so that the two could react to Selena Gomez, who was crying about the mass deportations taking place in the United States. And you'll probably remember the White House had just recently put a target on her back by reposting this video onto a government-ran social media so that the entire United States could point at Selena Gomez and laugh.
How many people are getting attacked? The children. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything.
I haven't seen more than that clip. Strike me as real?
Of course not. Yeah, she reviewed it and then she posted it. It doesn't make
It's just like, it's one thing to do something, it's like to self to camera.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. I didn't record it, I re-record, you know, like that's
This right here is an example of Adin Ross pandering to the right while also engaging in misogyny. The misogyny will be a pattern you will see as we get further into this series. And while Adin Ross embraces this kind of attitude and behavior on his stream, he is at the same time highly critical of left-wing or progressive streamers, including Hassan. There's even a moment on Adin Ross's stream where he publicly fantasizes about unaliving Hassan Piker and another content creator named Pokimane, who is a woman.
Alright, Chad, you're in a room with a right? There's two in it. Never mind.
And again, this is a pattern that you're going to see. Adin Ross is very quick to bully or poke fun at any kind of streamer or influencer who has a progressive ideology or is a woman, but will simultaneously praise and engage in inherently evil and harmful rhetoric and behavior. It's this ideology and mindset that those who are progressive, those who are women are bad, and those who are alt-right and lean to the right and say offensive things are good. Do you see how that could potentially warp the mindset of a teenage viewer? Adin Ross has also appeared on the highly controversial podcast Fresh and Fit with Myron and Walter. I think we all know that this podcast has rose to popularity because of its hatred of women and any kind of progressive ideology that could potentially further equality in the United States.
Freedom was right about a lot of shit, man. Well, what? Was right about a lot of shit.
Fresh and Fit at its core is just men talking about how women are subhuman and deserve to be objectified and disrespected. And that unfortunately is a sentiment that resonates with Adin. Adin Ross also frequently collaborates with the live streamer Sneeko. And Sneeko is a figure who has recently gotten a pat on the back for having a common sense stance when it comes to what is happening in Palestine. But if you look past the surface, you'll see that Sneeko is associated with many Zionists in the industry and considers them friends. And this is a common sense take that is nothing to admire. There's nothing admirable about having a common sense take when it comes to mass unaliving of innocent people. The same way that Candace Owens is praised for being pro-Palestine, we all know that it is a common sense stance that should simply be in line with every human being's morality. Sneeko has gotten that same praise, and just like Candace, the masses are very quick to forget the destruction and harm that they have done, letting the world know that they have basic morality. Sneeko has made threats to unalive multiple different content creators, specifically content creators who have left-wing or progressive ideology. He has also on multiple occasions shared his disdain for women and often engages in the use of slurs. Sneeko has also taken to his platform during his friendship with Adin Ross to defend the highly controversial film that was on Netflix called Cuties. And I'm sure some of you remember that in this film, little girls were depicted inappropriately on multiple occasions throughout the film.
I saw Cuties last night and it was pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. I went in ready to hate like everybody else. I saw the cover and I got clickbaited. So did you. You got clickbaited. The thing about Cuties is it's not an unrealistic film. Like, yes, it shows children in a way, but this is not unusual now.
Quite literally defended little girls being exploited in a way that no little girl should ever be exploited, even going as far to call Cuties his favorite film. And that's a close friend of Adin Ross, and I believe that speaks volumes to Adin's morality as well. And the manipulation that so many of these large streamers use is that they say, or they tell their audience, like, I wasn't being serious, I was just trolling, when they say absolutely outrageous things like defending material that was. Both Sneeko and Adin have been on collaborative live streams with figures including DJ Academics and Ian Carroll. On this specific live stream, Adin Ross superimposed a photo of P. Diddy onto his face and began trolling the live stream.
Yeah, remember when you got to my party, we had man, I put that oil all over your you got in that act. Hey, love though, King. Hey, real love. You took that like a soldier.
Adin quickly dove into jokes, making fun of Diddy's crimes against men, women, and children. All of these men sat and just kikied and laughed about these Diddy jokes while blatantly ignoring their own glaring flaws. Adin Ross, cosplaying as a serial R-wordist just for some laughs. DJ Academics has been accused of engaging in group R-word as well as many other horrific allegations. Adin Ross has no issues considering DJ Academics to be a close friend and confidant. Sneeko praised, defended, and brought more attention to a film that made money off of exploiting little girls.
I think that people outraged at that film should also be outraged at everything that girls are doing now on Instagram, TikTok, and all these apps.
Well, see, but here's the thing. So let's break it down to the very bare essentials. Can children consent?
Can children consent? No, they can't.
Ian Carroll is an old school anti-Semite who engages in the conspiracy theories that Jewish people run the entire world. He somewhat worships the ground RFK and Candace Owens walk on and has touted that the mustache man was not racist, he just loved Germany. Collectively, this is a deeply problematic group of men with a ton of influence who sat on a live stream together, normalizing finding community within one another's bad behavior. One of Adin Ross's most viewed live streams in the recent couple of years was his recent live stream during the election when he went to Mar-a-Lago to kind of have like a day in the life kind of stream with Donald Trump. This stream was so massive that at its peak it had 500,000 consecutive viewers. In this live stream, Adin discussed how he hated going to high school in California because the teachers in school talked about politics, and he did not believe it was appropriate for teachers to talk about politics within school.
I went to high school in California, okay? Right. And you know, a lot of the teachers were basically at the time, you know, this is your first term. They were telling me how horrible of a person you are and all these things. And the teachers, you're not supposed to do that. It's inappropriate to have teachers, you know, discuss politics in school.
In fact, that is the best place for a young mind to learn about politics. And I personally don't think we talk enough about politics in school, especially high school. The president agreed with him that it's inappropriate for teachers to talk about politics in school, further normalizing the fascist agenda that he is implementing as we speak. The Trump administration choosing to willingly collaborate with a streamer who has used slurs, is close friends with a man whose favorite film consists of is friends with a man who is accused of engaging in the word of a woman, is friends with a man who regularly speaks about harmful conspiracy theories towards minorities, openly holds disdain towards women, and jokes about unaliving his peers who are too far left, is very telling. Because I promise you, the Trump administration had plenty of PR people to vet exactly who Adin Ross was. They saw every controversy he was involved in and still invited him to Mar-a-Lago. When Adin Ross first announced that he was going to be doing a live stream with Donald Trump, a lot of his viewers did not even believe him. And the reason they didn't believe him was because in the past, Adin Ross has shared that he was going to interview the North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, but then it turned out to be just him interviewing an impersonator alongside his close friend Andrew Tate. Despite this being a fake interview, Adin Ross did declare that he would be happy to be the facilitator of world peace by streaming for North Korea, effectively offering up himself to the North Korean government to be used as a tool of propaganda. But now that I've mentioned Andrew Tate, let's dissect this friendship between Andrew Tate and Adin Ross a little bit more. Adin Ross and Andrew Tate have been close friends for quite a few years now. They especially became close during the height of Andrew Tate and his brother's allegations. And if you remember back, those allegations included R-wording, rush houring, and the R-word of a child. But despite those serious allegations, Adin Ross remained loyal as ever to Andrew Tate.
Andrew! I love you. I mean, like, I love you. I love you, man. Like, you don't, I know you have a good heart. I love him, bro. I love him with all my heart. I missed you. You got bigger and you got stronger. I tell you have a good heart. You have good intentions. He's great. Andrew, please don't go.
Those kind of allegations were not moral deal breakers for Adin Ross, but don't you dare be someone like Hassan and talk about progressive ideology on your platform, because then Adin Ross will publicly fantasize about taking your life. After this friendship between Adin and Andrew began to blossom, Adin Ross as a whole became a much more toxic human being and began to breed an even more toxic fan base than had already existed. Adin had to normalize Andrew in order to keep platforming Andrew so that he could continue to make money off of Andrew, which is so incredibly irresponsible when your primary fan base is young male teens, the next generation of men. Normalizing any part of Andrew Tate to them is irresponsible and dangerous. In a very short period of time, Adin went from being an edgy, offensive, and immature gaming streamer to a full-blown red-pilled, misogynistic, racist, homophobic, transphobic, fake alpha male incel. And whether they realized it or not, his fans, like a frog in a pot of boiling water, many became desensitized to the harmful rhetoric and behavior that Adin was continuously engaging in. As his friendship with Andrew grew, Adin's misogyny would become so incredibly blatant, he began to advocate for certain women to have their platforms removed because he believed they were showing themselves in an unbecoming way. He personally advocated for any women who stream on platforms while in a hot tub should be immediately taken off of the streaming site, while simultaneously blatantly ignoring the disgusting behavior of himself and his male peers. Adin Ross has quite literally been caught showing corn on his live stream on his platform, but wants the careers of women who are also content creators to be decimated because he feels that they are not presenting themselves or carrying themselves the way he finds becoming. As time went on, Adin began to grow what appears to be more of an infatuation with Andrew Tate opposed to a friendship. Adin has stated that he doesn't believe that Andrew Tate is a misogynist.
A lot of people think that you are a misogynistic person. Now hold on, let me finish.
I want to hear it. Tell me why I'm misogynist.
No, I don't think you are. I don't think you are.
He's a good guy and looks up to him, but Adin has even done strange behaviors like sniffing a seat that Andrew Tate stood up from.
I'll fix you. Where are you going?
Which I don't think a man would even do with his best friend. Like, that is some infatuation. Even after Andrew Tate and his brother were taken into custody by the Romanian government for crimes including R-word, rush houring, and R-wording a child, Adin remained loyal to Andrew. Andrew Tate was allowed 5 visitors while he was detained by the Romanian government. He shared on social media that 4 of the people who were allowed to come were his family members, and the 5th person allowed to come visit him in Romania was Adin Ross. This moment was probably very validating for Adin Ross, as the adoration and care that Adin has for Andrew was somewhat reciprocated.
Like, oh my God, this is real. This is crazy. And the answer to everyone's question, if I'm gonna basically go see Andrew in jail because he did put me on his visitation list, the answer is this: Andrew Tate, I'm on my way. I will see you in Romania, G.
Adin then announced to his live stream that he was going to be flying to Romania to visit Andrew Tate, and he did just that, but the Romanian government did bar him from actually visiting Andrew. And please keep in mind, Andrew Tate rose to fame for being a kickboxing champion with a dangerous belief system. He stayed famous because men like Adin Ross have normalized the fact that Andrew Tate has taken what he has learned in the boxing ring and used it to frighten, harm, control, and beat women into submission. But Adin loves it. Adin supports Andrew through and through and has co-signed him and his behavior to his millions of young fans. The Tate brothers never would have made a comeback the way they did if it wasn't for figures like Fresh and Fit, DJ Academics, Adin Ross, who normalized being in community with horrendous people. On top of the dangers of normalizing a friendship with Andrew Tate, Adin Ross has also showed to be quite chummy with self-proclaimed blank supremacist Nick Fuentes, a far-right figure who kind of flies within this alt-right toxic manosphere streamer circle. Nick Fuentes is famous for hating Jewish people, not Zionists, but Jewish people. He believes that the mass extermination of said people never occurred. He doesn't believe that women should have the right to vote. He believes that the mustache man was right. He believes that black people are genetically wired to be inherently violent. And he has praised dictators like Bashar al-Assad and Vladimir Putin, stating that they represent traditional values. And Adin, who acknowledges that Nick Fuentes hates Jewish people, will still platform him for monetary gain. But people who are pro-Palestine are anti-Semitic. Got it. If you haven't seen the pattern yet, it is very obvious that Adin Ross is either intentionally or unintentionally red-pilling his young and impressionable teenage male fans, knowing that this demographic represents the future men of America, men who will want to one day look for a romantic partnership and will carry around this skewed ideology at their core, which inherently puts more women and more girls at risk. 2 of Adin Ross's closest friends, not including Andrew Tate, are the disgraced rapper Tory Lanez, as well as the streamer DDG. As you've probably heard, DDG was recently hit with a restraining order by the mother of his child, Halle Bailey. The reason for her seeking this restraining order was because DDG has placed his hands on her multiple times in moments of anger. He has done this in front of their baby. He has left this woman bruised with a chipped tooth and an unregulated nervous system. And we know Tory Lanez is currently in prison for pew-pewing the artist Megan Thee Stallion in the foot a few years back. Adin Ross has stood 10 toes down beside both DDG and Tory Lanez, despite the proof that both of those men have engaged in violence against black women. Adin has publicly called both of these men's victims liars, publicly calling Megan Thee Stallion a liar.
Free Tory Lanez. That's a good friend of mine.
I love Tory.
He's a good dude.
I love
He really ain't do shit. Free Tory.
Well, I don't know, but
Nah, he didn't.
I still like his music.
I'm gonna tell you why. Megan will never show her bull.
But didn't she like go to the hospital about it?
It don't matter. She got caught stepping on glass in her body cam they just found. Tory had no evidence on that.
Yeah.
Tory didn't do it, I promise you.
Either way, I like him and
Good.
his music. So
Good. It's free Tory. It's always free Tory.
Shit has nothing to do with me.
Show the bitch. Sorry.
And calling Halle Bailey a liar as well.
Fake allegations. This is a father. This is a real person. This is a good human being. He does a lot for a lot of people. He's a man. He's a father, and we're gonna respect him. We're gonna love him.
And he has done this knowing that his toxic fan base will go after them. Like Adin, DDG also will regularly weaponize his fan base against the mother of his child, Halle Bailey. In the last few days, all the bros have teamed up with each other. Adin Ross has been publicly calling Halle Bailey a liar. DDG has been calling her a liar who refuses to let him see her son. And now DJ Academics has jumped into the picture to defend Tory Lanez. DJ Academics posted a photo of Megan Thee Stallion and Carolyn Bryant superimposed together to insinuate that she was the same kind of liar that caused Emmett Till to lose his life. Tory Lanez is no Emmett Till. But you see what I'm talking about? Like this hive mind of toxic men who use each other and their platforms to hide behind their own bad behavior, and it is breeding so much toxicity within young men and causing so many young women like Halle Bailey and Megan Thee Stallion to have unnecessary turmoil. So despite all of these friendships and connections and behaviors that are absolutely disgusting on Adin's part, Adin, blinded by his own ego and failing to have any kind of self-reflection, will choose to attack any female that he wants to or can for the most minute grievances imaginable. How they carry themselves, how they present themselves, or if they speak up against a man who has harmed them. And now, very recently, Adin Ross has aimed his attack towards a new and up-and-coming artist named Doechii, calling her an industry plant, a piece of shit, an unintelligent woman, and other just derogatory epithets, because he believed it was absolutely disgusting that Doechii raised her voice at her staff so that they would cover her up from the paparazzi during, if I'm remembering correctly, the Met Gala.
Don't get me started on that industry plant. Don't get me started. You guys can say shit, whatever you want about me, but one thing about me is I'm not an industry plant. I've been streaming for like a long time now. Doechii, the umbrella clip, pissed me off. What an entitled, unintelligent piece of shit she is, bro. She deserves, bro. I'm not joking, bro. Stop listening to her music. Just the worst. She's a piece of shit. She makes no good music. She's horrible. Doechii.
I think the mass majority of people saw this viral moment of Doechii raising her voice at her staff as a very overblown moment. We've seen celebrities on many occasions actually rip into their staff in public, and this was not that. After spending years supporting a man who has accusations of R-wording a child, he felt the need to attack Doechii for raising her voice at her staff during a high-pressure moment. This is a perfect example of Adin Ross's not only hate for women, but for black women, and how he also engages in the trope rules for thee, but not for me. In the last few days, Adin Ross has also taken aim at a female friend who is also a streamer, who is close with DDG, named Wendy Ortiz. Wendy Ortiz and her twin sister recently flew and traveled to Japan with DDG, who paid for the trip and took them on multiple shopping sprees. And I think it is very notable, not the fault of these girls, but I think it is very notable on DDG's part that he could afford to fly these girls out to Japan, take them on multiple shopping sprees, but to this day has not offered Halle Bailey a single dollar to support her in her finances as she raises their child as the main caregiver. On a recent live stream, Adin Ross attacked Wendy for not having empathetic or kind words towards Tory Lanez after it was announced that he was attacked while in prison.
Yeah, I don't think Tory is like someone you can feel bad for.
She just didn't really care, and her refusal to voice empathy for Tory sent Adin absolutely spiraling.
I'm not holding back on Wendy. We are going to go crazy on Wendy for what she said about Tory Lanez. My brother really got 14 times, bro. I don't around when it comes to like that. So, Wendy, I got something for you. Don't even worry about it. You and your fat Torta fans can't do. They don't scare me, bro. Streaming you're doing. Do you not understand? I'm the Don. This is my bitch.
He even went as far to allude that Wendy isn't even a good mother. And he did this in front of DDG, knowing that DDG was a close friend of Wendy.
Call Wendy. She said some disrespectful comment about me, but I think she's a cool person. Can you call her, please?
I just don't want to call her because she's a mom. You know, I don't like just calling her out of nowhere. She's probably spending time with her kid and shit.
Probably not. She's probably not. Let's be real. Come on.
No, she be with her kid.
Just keep in mind, this whole fiasco, this whole temper tantrum literally happened because Wendy Ortiz did not say free Tory, a man who is in prison for committing violence against a woman. Since Adin has made the decision to target Wendy, she has been threatened. Her phone number and address have both been leaked. Her mother's phone number has been leaked, leading to her being harassed, and police have shown up to her home where her child lays her head, all based on false reports made by Adin Ross's fan base.
I feel like people don't understand that because I have a daughter.
No words of condemnation for DDG after it was found out that he was laying his hands on the mother of his child and being a deadbeat baby daddy, not paying $1 to child support, while also going on stream and weaponizing it, trying to say that the mother of your child is refusing to allow you to see your child. And she released proof that that's not happening. You're just a deadbeat. No words of condemnation from Adin to DDG for that. It's alarming to me how Adin Ross can co-sign so much debauchery, but these women just exist and he believes they need to be attacked for it. He believes they deserve to be attacked for it. And on top of being a morally gray, reckless, and dangerous clout goblin who uses their platform for harm and not for good, Adin Ross has also on multiple occasions put his own loyal fans in danger. During one of his live streams, Adin Ross dared one of his fans to drive their car into a lake, and they did it because they believed Adin Ross would pay them a large sum of money for doing this on stream. And in a way that will make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. Like a puppet master, Adin Ross watched as this fan plunged his vehicle into a body of water, per his request. Adin is also aware and publicly reacted to the fact that one of his fans took their own life in one of his Discord servers because of the devastating after effects of massive losses due to a gambling addiction that was inspired and influenced by Adin Ross's normalization of gambling on the internet. Adin Ross has radically normalized some of the most harmful behavior that one human being can impose onto another. He has been an apologist for so many behaviors that his morality does not even exist anywhere. His morality is in line with whatever can be monetized. This man has had so much influence in the red pilling of the young men who will be the men of the next generation. It's almost incomprehensible. I think as a whole, me included, have given figures like Charlie Kirk far too much credit in the red pilling of the young men. I believe Adin Ross is far more effective and dangerous than even someone like Charlie Kirk. Adin Ross has been a tool of propaganda that has been more effective on the youth than any Republican strategy that I've ever seen before. The grand normalization of alt-right ideology in a space that is as innocuous as gaming is terrifying. Republicans used to want to get rid of video games like Grand Theft Auto, a game that Adin Ross rose to fame streaming due to its harmful influence upon the youth. But now they have regrouped and decided to use the people who are streaming these very popular games as a tool to help them indoctrinate the youth. A 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old boy viewing this kind of behavior and watching it be praised and watching profit come from it is so dangerous for our future. And Adin Ross is like a parasite who will probably never go away. But we have to remain educated as to who he is and what he's doing and how we can better protect the youth from people like Adin Ross. So that was your basic gist of who is Adin Ross and what has he done so wrong. In the next chapter of this series, we will get into some of the other streamers that I have on my list that I want to dive further into. That's all I have for you guys today. I will see you guys in the next one.